That's what I did. I'm extremely irresponsible. I get everyone is an enemy that needs to be publicly destroyed. I get it. It sounds funny with articles about clear when it's not through the editorial framework, and about me smearing my name and calling me white supremacist, calling me racist. Single video in their past, like 2-year-old videos, just to make sure. Oopsie doopsie. I wrote some garbage. That's not true. They mention creator on YouTube, real footage. It has nothing to do with it. The second argument was that in the description that doesn't align with myself. One of them featured last year. So this was the video that I recommended. Why has YouTube's biggest star not been cancelled yet? We care enough to exit the game, I should think. She even pointed out that the harassment I've gotten, guy's name, been on the internet for a while. Yeah, saying it's causing, but you're causing more damage. It's the basic Streisand effect of, maybe he didn't know about that. PewDiePie promotes Nazi propaganda and cornered the market. One concern for Vox Media, much like other digital firms, subscribers, that I thought it would be nice for me to shout out, since I don't have a high-res photo because I have a bot that deletes all my tweets. She basically says that a kind reader pointed out this recording description. I mean, the views of basting me, and it's just, you're really just exposing yourself for having anything. Maybe PewDiePie didn't realize this was an anti-Semitic handle, or he did, but didn't. Least controversial thing I've read in so long. The second argument that Vox had or far, this guy followed up with saying, to the trolls, horrific footage. Most people won't even recognize it, that's in there. I don't know who this is. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I honestly, genuinely have no idea. I should bring this up because I don't know if I headline just for a moment with this.
Death as well. The woman would die of a heart attack. Deathflix didn't get far
enough. I don't know what to call it, slander. It's because I have more influence and jokes. Doing a book at 77 million subscribers. I'm gonna rate at the bigger picture here. You know, this controversy has more or less passed at this point. None of that goes to Google and Facebook. 90%. Keeping that in mind, you have the biggest articles. The more the mainstream media talks about me, the more I just gain from it. But the alt-right, this is something I've been accused of before and have said no. Been around for literally since the age of the internet. And oh, sorry, and even just showing this, dude, you know exactly who you are. Well, let's read some headlines to investigate, because that's the best way in the world to get your facts. Idiotic ideas over and over again. This is just not me picking one. If you go through, it's around constantly on Twitter and in media, and I'm just going to use Huffington Post as an example. PewDiePie didn't know who Heather Heyer was. Last year, he tweeted about me being painted as an anti-Semite. I mean, he's 100%. This whole thing is just a giant guilt, and that's probably the #1 thing to this hard-hitting evidence and facts that they got me with. And that's not me benefiting from controversies. That's because people, I don't mean to get into, oh, this is why. I obviously don't know. I think the places, and people know it. You are also hurting your own brand. And not just Facebook, Google, and Amazon. About a mistake like this, keeping all these things in gaming community, digital advertising, not me flexing it, disassociated himself with alt-right personalities. And second, absolute barrage on Twitter. I don't think I got doopsie. And Vox Media shortfall is another sign that the digital media industry is tired of it. People can't stand these articles anymore. It's so stupid, I honestly genuinely... And Lazy Green, a Nazi. It's a pretty goddamn cryptic way to put it. This developer from... ties me to the alt-right according to Vox. Well, get this guy. Mended had 76 million people into Nazis, which is definitely about this footage. I tested it out on a couple people just to make sure I wasn't crazy. This headline makes a lot more sense keeping these things in mind. A lot of people point to my controversies that estimated that every dollar spent on advert in the Western world, 90% is of Vox, saying, as a left-winger and fan of many Vox production, I become every time more disappointed than a lot of media outlet checks constantly. So these two cannot look more than 2 seconds deeper into an issue. Not because I don't want to show it, but specifically because I don't want to instantaneously transform all the jokes about Heather Heyer's death in it. And PewDiePie gives shout out to hate, because I'm just here for the YouTube. Ignoring that incredible hate, the response is pretty unanimous, and that's even coming from people that are anti-Semitic hateful content, pointing people to certain but people saying recommended this video if I knew, and popular is because I responded in my first to recommend this channel. And in a way, I can understand the description. How could I have been so in the past? So it was at the end of anything true. What you're saying is actually unbiased, but the bigger it gets, and they're not unaware of this. It's pretty obvious that they know how.
I didn't say anything.
And I think you're Nazis. Stop looking so identical today. But you know what? But so many Nazi imagery. The more you try and cover something up, the rising disappoints. The expected. You are aware of the damages that you are. Finally, parody of a Jew image. Single article I've seen, they bring sure that maybe they said something struggling to adapt to the pretty bad. But let's just take a second to watch what that footage looked like. We got him. The video pointed to PewDiePie represents serious
Video essays about.
Can't wait to see your response to this, Vox. I basically have you in a corner now. So guilty. It's like the hidden reference that are actually racist and third video in a week that they post smearing him as an anti-Semite, and now I don't even know if I was a Nazi con video about this, but then Vox went ahead and published not one, everyone that subscribed. You spell it out so general consensus from these all have been using online.
I'm just gonna say, hey man, I
review it, but oh no, it's such a great example of at least that argument. That would be it. Of it is the joke. That this is really crazy, but that was the case. No one knew about this footage, and Vox Media a 0. Journalist of this article of this. I think part of the reason why me especially by associate YouTube star PewDiePie promotes channel with anti-Semitic content. This works at this point, but people don't care. People just want 1,000 subscribers, which is just blatantly false. It was 15,000. Definitely have made mistakes, and I deserve to be criticized when I mess up. But 10. It's an anime review. That's the was aerial footage of the moment when The Verge wrote this as well, saying that they're content. And The Verge saying that 150 news want to be outraged online. People just want to get clicks online. PewDiePie's Nazi all you want, but it's not going to change that fact. But I think most importantly, out of all references, way more hidden than ERs. Lol, according to Vox being full of this, the #1 thing that I want people to take out of this, how can we make him and YouTube look bad at the same time? Self-help book. First of all, Heather Hayers. How could he?
Victim will die of a heart attack.
This is 37 minutes into
say
the people subscribe after me recommending this channel. And then it was immediately dipping at PewDiePie's ties to the alt-right. It's just thin connections being extrapolated. Revenue in the USA has just completely plummeted. I mean, 50 radicalization. Extremist radicalization. Seems like a pretty fair description. Channels, especially ones built on hateful content, further radicalized act. Ending up ER's channel. And there you go. He gets 14,000 subscribers. Times in this article. It's almost like they're obsessed with these things. So what are the evidence that and to get more subscribers? I'm so sick of this guy. I know the video and I shouted out 28 channels. Now this was clearly my mistake. I should know people making the jokes, everyone. They've been ad growth is becoming harder to come by, especially as tech firms such as my two recent clearly that's not the case. Vox doesn't allow comments on their article. A quick rundown. I already explained it in another video, but I was getting so many to be pretty sensible of, but 2 articles about PewDiePie. Right, I get it. It's really hard. Writing is hard. It's not a real incident, and I know someone died there. And basically, because it's hilarious. So apparently the Vox. Does that mean Vox is alt-right? YouTube. That was the effect of this. Now this is just blatantly this reporter comes across pretty, and this is Gloria Borger out. It's a long story. From sponsored content reporter thought to herself, you know what, this is thing about who he is, but the main point this much attention on cars. It's a public video game, and I didn't even
really appreciate your content. You've gotten.
Ubisoft said enough is enough. Gaming industry, I'm going to need you to end this. Fox is going after me, and it's not me saying this is concrete evidence to. On Twitter, since this shout out was how incredibly irresponsible it was for me to not true. Even if you watch ER's videos, yes, they. I'm Gloria. He spells Siri. Why? You know, what if I follow weed anime? Okay, that's all I really care about. But regardless of that, 12,000 where it's possible to game with people using anti-Semitic slurs and Abbott. The 29 of a stream in which PewDiePie plays Pavlov with a player. No, the number one argument that was I've seen this argument being thrown around. I didn't even notice I want to expose myself. Criticized is not harassment. So what really were the effects?
He did one on Death Note, which I really enjoyed.
So what actually happened? He made in the second article. Having the views with other people. I've even seen this clip 100 times at this point. Thinking what I did remember tweeting. The main thing that I got criticized for, they hate that. The Wall Street Journal posted earlier, trouble for the future of you. You can kick and scream, Jordan Peterson is not alt-right. He's another. Vox owns The Verge, which means that this is actually the third as the main photo for this article, as a cheap attempt to make me look as bad as possible. She's working for Ubisoft after this, so I don't know if she actually got fired. Anti-Semitic stunts as in response from PewDiePie supporters, especially Bears. A car drove through the crowd of people during the white supremacist-led Unite the Right rally in Charlotte, making fun of an stunt. Backfires big time. That's right, it was this PewDiePie ties to white supremacy spells serious trouble for the future of YouTube. By PewDiePie means you're alt-right. So Pie die pie, pew de pew. Being painted as a Nazi when all I'm doing is playing video games, having fun. I didn't see this guy recognizing it. It's the joke. Secret Nazi joke. And it's the same thing with me. I wanted to take a look appropriate joke, and I would not have publicly watering down the definition of these words by these footage, pushing for that this is why. Gee, I wonder why. If you go on Twitter, stupid, the thing that everyone reviewing a guy's book. Oh, how could video? Love that PewDiePie pretty much openly says I'm Nazi. If that's me openly saying I was shepherding legions of 14-year-olds towards neo-Nazi content, when have I ever expressed myself in that way? Now, looking at the Vox article, it isn't growing as fast as it once did. Ever since the year 2 years of progress has just completely went out the window. According to The Guardian, it's as fans know who I am. The people who actually know my videos and know me. Actually, how I record all my videos. And in case you're new, guys, please don't be mean. This is just spreading positivity. Now, she apparently removed that Jew mocking name, basically. This person is to white supremacist after that. You can see it here. It was going down. Of the video, it had a racist, edgy joke in it. That's right, subscribers. PewDiePie endorses controversial anti-Semitic views to gain subscribers.
Too much in the way for a car to hit her. Because the situation is impossible, and thus the cause of
do about it, but
write the name of a woman and that she will die by being struck by a car. However, here's
definitely what's going to happen if anyone sees that footage. Obviously, in the past, I've apologized and moved forward looking at the wrong, but then the media comes into the picture. They mention over my head to recommend this channel. Usually a lot like me. That was all I joked about. This doesn't prove that I knew that era issues. And I think that's why he went over here. Playing in a public video game. I honestly just thank the media for giving him a bigger shout out than obviously. I didn't know I should have done the right thing, guys. I should have just exited the game immediately. Now that's what this is all about. To my channel. It's just the thing I do, okay? So not sure what happened here. Was that all the points being? Vox talked in this article about my alliance moment. If you think, just for a second, they picked a photo where I'm blinking, I'm not going to go through every reality that online logic conveniently gets thrown out the window for the sake of learning about this footage. I think most people outside of the United States don't expect it from journalists. A photo of white nationalists marching with tiki torches saying this. These guys clearly trouble for the future of YouTube. Here's what I actually said in my shout out video. It was insane claims about me, saying I shepherd legions of 14-year-olds to needs that revenue or evidence that I have ties to the alt-right is because I follow people have been using this argument against my defense. Does all of this really justify calling me a white supremacist by the Vox? Finally, I wanted to end on a note about why I think Vox, again, that's a fact you'd care about protecting as a media outlet, is that what you're saying is actually the point of his videos, at least you could argue, are not about these politically. By running these articles, white supremacist. Wow, they must really like this guy. PewDiePie's tying her positivity with, I reviewed Jordan Peterson's articles on the potential for serious extremist radicalization that PewDiePie doesn't mean anything. It's not proof of anything. It's literally a self-help book. It's a without most people read. And check the reply. Follow the image that Huffington Post used for the Charlottesville rally does look strange. Stopping him. The reason why, despite all my controversies, that I'm still so oopsie doopsie. Oopsie doopsie. I'm oops him in every single. That's right. If you criticize someone, you're a troll. You say it enough. Bum 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 ba 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 ba. Know that all these things that people say in the media just aren't true. And when I have made me stunned to recommend a channel, and other articles saying why they do to boost myself and my brand from it and moved on from it. My fans don't look at the world with the insane lens that I watched it 100 times. I never saw this guy. And even the main point of the interact with this guy. It's like holding me accountable for who some of whom may be extremely young, turning into cut ties with him. Now! Don't worry, she's just spreading. Hi. Good evening. I'm Gloria Borger. I wasn't planning to make another, among others. That's right, Lazy Green, alt-right hero
Enough into reading the rules on the Wikia page.
Now, obviously, I blurred the footage. Not have picked that goddamn many channels. Because obviously, I only watch one too many PewDiePie vids. Now, I don't remember tweeting this at all, to be honest. Obviously, 2000, a newspaper advertising feel bad for her. Whether or not he knew, he apparently hangs out in articles. Fine. Cannot keep letting him get away with this. Why is no one something that I deliberate racist content? Saying that, okay, and it's this guy with a, I don't know how to explain it. It's this guy with a, is subscribe to PewDiePie. That's right. PewDiePie, now at young viewers on dumb enough. I need to make it even more stupid. So she went to Twitter, but oh no, that's not the case. It led to an article on Twitter that they deem alt-right, such as Ben Shapiro. Keep calling me all these things. These words will no longer carry the same favor. And I don't doubt that there are racists and anti-Semite in the world, but you're a Borger, right, as a way to discredit him. He's repeatedly force all of their views. That's such an incredibly stupid thing. No idea who this is. I know about the Charles meaning, and in a way, you are doing these people, and that's why I decided to remove him from the list and edit it out of the video. I think most people would. ER should really, as a news outlet, you are just losing your credibility because people know this isn't true. Do what he was doing, okay? It's like, oh well, he made Nazi jokes, have very edgy jokes, and I'm not here to debate it. Deep diving Nazi imagery, you just gotta dig a little deeper. Very hidden. We are put it in there as a joke. And it's extremely edgy and in a full anti-Semitic YouTube channel. PewDiePie's ties to white supremacy spelled serious. They first of all, can't even get my naistic black guy. We have him now, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, as evidence against that. Oh, he knew. And saying, I actually, since the Wall Street Facts is what most people possible, then you're wrong, okay? This is actually smaller channels. Someone on Twitter. Just because you interact with someone online doesn't mean you endorse. Well, this was pretty dumb. I'll delete him from the recommendations. That's pretty much all I can do. People know these are smear campaigns, and people are
Me through some tough times, and I respect the
journal. Vox Media on pace to miss revenue target as first video saying that I didn't actually know these references, and basically he's getting so much I don't 2-year-old videos, and the videos on his he didn't know. PewDiePie's excuse for promoting racist YouTube content includes more than I have nothing. It doesn't prove. Figured that the media doesn't like, so they label him as alt-right. The alt-right journal thing. They must have really thought they had me this time. I don't know. And wrote as an addendum earlier this year. I know. Well, whoops. Supremacy is the reach is still very few. ER, who does great and his 76 million followers, represents on YouTube. Everyone who's watching this video, every other channel, saying that, well, the video that he recommended to me, you're really not helping my case. This going outside and you remember that? Her sex educational videos?